Oh my God. Okay, here am I. Hey, welcome back to this Global Head Week. Um, this is the last day, I think. Well, yeah, it's actually day 6. And what do you think? That I wasn't going to present the stream for you? No. I'm here. I'm so sorry. I've been real busy, to be honest with you, with work and other stuff. But I'm really glad to be here and make some space to be sharing about some very interesting topics. Hey, we have 404 saying, "Oh my God, it's Alberto," and John saying, "Yeah," and also, "Way, good to see you here, Alberto," and 404. Yeah, don't you know I miss this a lot? And yes, of course, breaking combo with Way. Um, so let me introduce myself because I always forgot to do this. Nice Emily jacket. Hey, thank you so much. Uh, um, yeah, I'm Alberto Camarena. I'm your mainly hiking coach from Mexico. And I'm be presenting this build with Snowflake workshop, right? So the intention of this workshop, let me explain a little. It's for you to understand the specific AI capabilities that Snowflake has. Actually, the full title will be Building Intelligent Data Applications with Snowflake, right? So this stream, it's a serious an effort from the Snowflake team. I think they call this event Build, Developer Conference for AI and applications around Snowflake, and we partner with them. Well, yeah, the Merely Hacking and Snowflake partnered up, and we help them run this event. And for what I know, they already run all the events they needed. And now I am showing this to you because those were like on site events from their community groups, plenty of them around the world, like Berlin, like Sydney, like I think there was another one in Brazil. Um, Plenty of places, right? This it's going to be the first one that's actually hosted online, the Global Hack Week. So, thank you a lot for being here. I'll be trying to keep an eye on the comments because I see you're very active, and I love that. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'll be also paying attention to what I have prepared for you. Well, not me. What we have prepared for you because actually kudos to Kev. He was the one in charge of creating this content kit, and I think he did an amazing job. So kudos to Kev, and also kudos to Alex, which is the one in charge of making these connections possible for the collaboration between Majorly Hacking and Snowflake. Right. Uh, that further say, let's start. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Wait, can I have your jacket? It's not like it's super cool. I built it with 2 weeks ago on a hackathon. It was super fun. That's amazing. Did you win the software category, or it was not on a category base? Just use it just for fun. Um, of course, I'll bring it to you. How a bit supported. Okay, you did amazing. That's great. So drop the link for the repo here on the chat because we want to see your project. And let's get started with this. If you can see my screen, let me know here in chat. Else, same. Please let me know. Well, Let me introduce you and welcome you to this Building Intelligence and Applications with Snowflake. Again, this program is part of the build that you can see here on the top left. Oh, well, it's my top left. If you have this mirror, it will be your top right at some point on your screen. Uh, the developer conference for AI and apps, right? So let me go through the learning objectives. I'm going to explain not all the Snowflake architecture, but some fundamentals, what Snowflake is, and basically what it will be the intention of this workshop, right? Identifying and describing the key features. In this case, it's the Snowflake Intelligence one. Again, Snowflake can help a lot of purposes, mainly analytics. I will say the strong one is analytics, but in this one we want to focus on the Snowflake intelligence capabilities, right? Understand the components of Snowflake Cortex, what it is, how it helps, and how it relates to the Snowflake intelligence. And we're going to do that also to leverage some Cortex search for data discovery and retrieval, right? We are going to utilize Cortex analysis for data advanced analytics, and we are going to build and deploy one user-friendly function or UDF. Sorry, one user-defined function or UDF, right? If you're wondering what that is, well, stay tuned to the workshop. Apply Snowflake Italian agents as well. And remember, if you have any questions at any point of the session, feel free to drop it here in the comments. I'll be making these posts. The main intention, as I mentioned earlier, of this workshop was to be run live, so we have plenty of time. I'm not going to rush over the slides, and I'm going to be like switching from the slides to the Snowflake page, and yeah, that's mainly how the session is going to work, right? Let's get started then with what Snowflake is. Snowflake, uh, if you want to say just one word, it's SaaS, software as a service, right? It's a unified cloud data platform. But what does this means actually? Well, it helps you to manage data engineering, data analytics, anything related with artificial intelligence, the creation of applications, but also collaboration and even data storage, right? If we put attention to the chart we have here on the right corner, we can see the ecosystem. It has a full connected application or platform, I would say better, uh, with external things, partners, engines, even the marketplace, with the whole suite, right? Um, what's the intended or the intention of all the products you can do with Snowflake? As I mentioned, engineering, and you can see the pipelines here, analytics, AI, and application based collaborations. What you need to learn or what you need to do inside Snowflake? Well, mainly SQL, but it also has now support for Java and Scala and Python, which is the powerful one, I would say, for machine learning purposes, right? And in the inside, more about the um, data layer, we have data lakehouse, data warehouse, data mesh. And I have to be honest with you, I'm not fully sure of what data mesh is, but I can explain you what it's a data lake versus a data warehouse, right? When you want to store your data, your structured data in a silo computer to be analyzed, you use a data warehouse. When you want to do it with unstructured data or semi-structured data and you have like mixtures with this, then you use data lakehouse, right? The good thing it's Snowflake works perfect for both, right? And there's I mentioned earlier, there's a big difference on what you can do with Snowflake for example, with other opportunities, competitors, I will say, out there. But what Snowflake really highlights here, it's analytics. I will say, for being an outsider of the company, I will say if I have to do like really heavy analytics, Snowflake it's the go-to. And I heard a lot of things that are really good about machine learning models and running AI applications here. Uh, and well, last thing to mention, if you see the lower, the dark blue one, it's AWS, Microsoft, and Google Cloud because you can have multi-cloud infrastructure, right? You're not vendor locked, so you can move from AWS to Azure to GCP, right? And well, that it's what Snowflake is. Any questions? Okay, remember to drop them on the chat. Here is Snowflake intelligence. Then we can start thinking about these Snowflake intelligence like the agent, right? The brain of our application, and what an agent is, and I think that that just word, I mentioned it a lot, and if you have seen many of my streams before, or even if I have met you in an event when I give the GitHub Copilot chat, sorry, the GitHub Copilot workshop, I mentioned that agents in the academy, it talks about autonomicity, right? An agent can be defined if you have an input, a processing loop over the processing, and tools. So these processing and the loop tells you about the capability to act based on an input, but also to make decisions. So you don't have to be so explicit of what you need the model to do. So this autonomicity can be controversial again between the academy and the industry, because industry wants to call agents a lot of things, uh, and the academy it's more like, yeah, are you sure about that? uh, I don't know. I don't want to be like, again, so strict, but have in mind that you can define at least an agent when you have the autonomicity on it, and also the ability to act. If you don't have the ability to act, then that's not an agent. That's just LLM, right? You can ask things, it can create things for you, but it cannot act on your behalf. It cannot um, have that autonomicity to decide certain things, right? So the Snowflake intelligence specifically, it's an autonomous data agents that execute multi-step workflows, such as retrieving data, for example, running analysis, triggering all actions without manual intervention. Again, that's the key point here, right? Keep that in mind. So it empowers not technical staff to do analysis, business user needs, and to get some insights actually without having to write queries that you and me as developers can do. But also, if you're a developer, you can rely on these kind of tools to be quicker, because you don't have to now think about the SQL process and everything. Now the LLM does it for you, right? And again, you know I might be biased because I work at Mongo, but SQL, it's a thing of the past, and like having the ability to perform this natural language, as the slide says, no SQL required thing, uh, it's really really powerful. It also it's built on enterprise LLM, so you can have Meta, Anthropic, the OpenAI, things like that, right? Um, all these pre-built engines are ready for immediate deployment, because remember the core concept of Snowflake is that it is software as a service. You have everything there. You just need to use it. You just need to connect it. And well, the question will be then, do I need to pay for it? Answer is yes. But for the purpose of these specific workshop, you will have the opportunity to use it for free. I will tell you how. Let's get to that part. But before, we're missing Snowflake Cortex, right? And this Cortex AI, it's what we're trying to highlight more, I will say, about this session. Because for what I understand, this is brand new. So it's the complete functional engine powering the previous Snowflake intelligence one. So remember, the intelligent one, it's the brain. We have the agent things happening there, but here we can have more tools. So we are going to invoke the LLM and machine learning functions directly using SQL and Python, extend beyond these pre-built agents of the Snowflake intelligence, um, to spoke with AI workflows, right? These It's designed for developers, not like the Snowflake Intelligence, which is again more like beginner friendly, user friendly. No need to have complicated things. But this one, it's for developers, for data scientists, for technical people who actually require some programmatic use and access of the AI machine learning tools, right? Here we can have the full control over what it's happening and talk about these major components. We have the data part, so we can get different inputs of our data. It could be from the S3 buckets. We can import files. We are going to do that actually. We can have that even from existing databases on internet. And among the models, we can have a pretty wider selection of what we need to use. We can even do fine tune APIs and embedded models, right? So I would say Cortex is like a more complete suite for Snowflake intelligence. This is like the entry level one. This is the one for developers, if you can put it in those words. So let's go to set up our account to be able to access this, right? I have this QR for you, but I'm also sharing the link, which is mlh.link slash snowflake AI trial. Let me move. I'm going to paste it here. Here. Here we come, and we have this. Amazing. So you have that now in chat. Anyway, I'm going to make some pauses again. The intention of this session is for you to follow. So in the meantime, I'll be writing these things. You don't have to do it with me. It can be helpful, to be honest, but you don't need to. Okay, so let's work on this. Alberto Amarena. I'll say my work email is alberto.camarena major. Well, I think it's at majorleaguehacking.com. Majorleaguehacking. hacking.com. Yeah, company name it's Major League Hacking. Job title. What can I say? Coach, of course. So here we have the plus 90 day time travel, multi-cluster warehouse, and materialized views. Okay, it's important to have AWS select, US, Oregon, West. That's great. So let's sign up. Okay, my account. Okay, I need to check my inbox now. Let me do that off camera. Mm. Okay, give me a second. I'll open my inbox. I haven't received anything yet. Maybe Albert, okay, Roberto.camarena. Let's make sure we hacking.com. Yeah, it's right. I don't know what happened. Let me see. I'm not getting the email. That's weird. Um. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, let's try this again. Um, okay, let's try this again. Remember, an enterprise. Okay, let's try with standard one. AWS, US West. Um, yeah, I think the problem was I choose before the enterprise. Huh? Sign up. Okay. For 30 drive. Okay. Should take some seconds. So let me see if it's in my inbox now. No, I don't see it. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. I'm not receiving the email. Okay, I will try one than last time. Um, let's see, MLH. Oh, MLH dot link slash Snowflake a trial. Standard AWS US West Oregon. Perfect. Um, okay, let's see if now this one does the job. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think I got this one. Great, I have it. So you should receive the email. You should activate the password. I'm going to add it here. I'm not showing my password, of course, but I'm going to say Alberto47 password, generate password. Okay. Okay. Your password must be more contain special characters. Okay. Oh well, this is so specific. Um, I'm going to use this password generator. Create a new password. Symbols, characters. What was the intention here? Zero special characters. Oh, no special characters. Okay. Now, save. Let's see if this loads. And bingo, we're here. So you should see something like this. Welcome to Snowflake. How do you want to start? Explore the sample data set, load data into Snowflake, and let's return here. You should see this. And okay, I'm going to make a pause to make sure you already created an account. You are receiving your emails. I don't know why I wasn't with the email, but with the Gmail one, I do. I'm receiving it, so that's a problem solved. If you already created a account before, a little trick I will say is that if you add a special character like a dot to the first part of your email, you can create a new one. Um, yeah. Sushmita says hi, I will say. So great. Um, well, if you are able to create your account, let's continue. If you are stuck here, let me know and we can return and we can help you. Data ingestion. Snowflake data ingestion methods are local files, history buckets, as I mentioned before, data connectors, data marketplace, many other outreach methods that we can. Oh, sorry. that we can watch here as well. So we can say load sample data from AWS S3 with SQL, things like that, right? What we need to do, it's go to now this other link, which is, oh, give me a second, MLH dot link slash Snowflake data, and you will see a repo, right? What's in this repo? There are a README. Snowflake AI offers a powerful solution. Lab, step-by-step guide, license, ignore, marketing campaigns, the set of SQL. We're going to take a look at this later, but right now we are going to see the data. So we have some CSV files, comma separated value. If you're not familiar with that, it's pretty standard format to um, have a lot of data because it's also lightweight. So we're going to select one. This could be the sales one. And we don't care about this because actually this is the preview. The code one looks like this, just comma separated values. But we're going to download this raw file, right? So I have that download now. And let's return here to see if you already have your data. We need to reach this point, right? How we reach that point? It's pretty simple. um, we need now to select under the add data in the ingestion. um, so here, ingestion, we can see add data, copy history, and migrations. In this tab, we're going to just hit add data. Again, as I was mentioning, there are pretty options. So we can set load data into a table. Uh, um, Here, the first one, and let's browse on our downloads and the sales one. We hit enter. Let's call this a new database. Um, Name it test DB, or what was the name? Global Hack Week sales. No special characters, right? Okay. Well, Global Hack Week sales. No comment, and we create this. It's being uploaded. Mm, okay. And the name of the table, this is going to be Global Hack Week uh, build in general, right? So once we have that, or the database, it's I'm wrong about this. Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to call this the other side, Global Hack Week build as the database, and the name of this specific, yeah, I didn't want to delete that one later. The one of these table is sales. Yeah, that makes sense now. So we close this. We wait for this being import. And we make sure everything's right here, the data, the date, bar chart, number, these were selected correctly. How we can make sure of that in the preview here, we have the date, region, product ID, unit sold amount, uh, date, region, product ID, unit sold amount. These are type numeric. Yes, they are. Oh, sorry. The SDR and one date and one voucher, right? Amazing. So this it's done. We love this. And finally, we need to see something like these slides. Under the catalog, we select our database and we select our table, right? So here, we can click on done. We don't need to generate a SQL from table. So in under catalog on the left, we see we have global Hagwig build database. Self database, actually I want to delete this one. Um, Grub, Grub database. Yeah, let's refresh. Okay, great. Now our database, the only one, it's global Hagwig build. In our information, in our public, we have the tables and we have the sales table, right? Because this is the one we imported. In the data preview, we can see exactly what we used to have here on GitHub. So this far, we reached this point, and that's what we wanted, right? Um, in tables, we only have the sales one. In the slides, we have many others. It will be a matter of just downloading and importing them. But for the moment, I think we don't need actually to do that, right? Now let's focus on the SQL file we showed before. As you saw before, the import actually wanted to generate us one. That's not it in this case because we want our specific, but you can do that. Um, Let me see if you have a question. Okay, you don't, so we can continue. Here, once the data set is loaded, I hope you are following this far. Let's actually, oh, no. Okay, sorry. Before continue to Cortex, we actually do need to do the setup SQL uh, because that file, what it's going to do, it's going to help us create all or the other databases and tables, right? So under this, we switch to the account admin role. We create the Snowflake intelligence admin role and grant the permissions. Um, we also assign Snowflake intelligence admin to the current user. We activate the admin role. We provision all the core environments. We set the session context. What else? Under these parts, we um, okay, yeah, here for each database that's missing the marketing, products, sales, social, and the support cases. We create external stage pointing to corresponding S3 buckets, as you can see. And then we created target table and we created target table and we copied it into it. So basically, that's why it's needed the SQL. So I just copy the right file here, and in the yeah in the SQL file under projects on my workspace, I will add that file. You see, new Cortex code. It's here. So we have new one. We have the SQL file. Um, let's just call it setup. The same. And now we paste what we have in the other file. Let's see, blind screen seat 214, 214. Great. And now we run this. That's simple as it is. Now, congratulations, Snowflake Galleon setup has completed successfully, and we can go back to see if our tables are actually complete. Oh no, maybe I'm missing something. Um, if I go back to the catalogs, database explorer, and I check for, oh no, we create a new database. Okay, let me check what's the name of the database. So F dash DB SI. It's supposed to be called that way, but it's no database here like that. Huh, interesting. It also does not have Snowflake intelligence database. So I think this didn't run as it should. Uh, but let's try to inspect why. Okay, right. Now it looks like it's actually running more of this. Congratulations, Snowflake Intelligence has set up completely. Hmm. Query history also tell us, okay, still, I'm not getting the rest. Um, hmm. No, this is not it. No, no, this seems to be, and neither it's under mine. So let's verify these. It's doing something once again. Okay, let's try to do it manually with some of them to see if the problems are debugged. So let's take the marketing one. Um, let's go to the ingestion part again, and let's select the AWS. Uh, let's check this URL. Uh, the name of the stage will be marketing, or let's say just S3 import, and like that. Uh, why it's not allowing me? Is this a valid URL? Yeah, it is. A comment. Okay, add new database or select database. Okay, here dash DBSI now appears. Uh, catalog. Oh, it just took some moments. But here under the retail one, it has the tables. Yeah, the missing ones: marketing, products, sales, social media, super cases, and we were missing also Snowflake Intelligence. This one has the agency. Okay, you know what? it actually worked. The problem it takes some time to refresh. So great, good news. It's working. Uh, Probably not best UI and UX, but uh, that's not the thing. We can continue to the model two, the cortex search, right? So what's cortex search? So retrieves unstructured data through combined vector and keyword search. This it's basically, for example, um, think again about your math classes or how close vectors are. It is a two-dimensional one. If one points this way on the y-axis and this one on the x-axis, you have two dimensions. You have to take the difference from the last points. When they start in the center, it's easy, but things can be complicated and can start like being very, very fussy when it turns not to two dimensions, but to three dimensions, but for four dimensions, for five and n dimensions. So high dimensionality, the vectors allow us to have some context of what's happening. For example, ABC capital requirements changes cannot be directly translated in a query, but with the help of vectorizing it in the Carter search that has also keywords attached to it, it has the context on the documents, and then we have the LLM functions to retrieve that information. So it responds. In 2014, the ECB, or European Central Bank, increased set one requirement two and the answer, right, based on the context that's stored in the documents. So this is how we can get information we're looking for. That's the searching of this. It also and in during this explanation we cover some retrieval of documents. So that's the retrieval augmented generation you probably heard of before. I think Jocelyn gave a session about this with Mongo, I think. If I remember well, we actually give one another for doing a write with Gemini. There are many ways to do this. Quarter search. The good thing is that you have that already there for be used. So out of the box, right? Um, Actually, I don't want to lie. Let me check if it do was way. But do remember, yeah, it was way. Rock made easy with Gemini. Actually, that was today at 3:30 p.m. So if you miss it, go check out the stream, right? Um, so basically, that's what cortex check is and how it works with the calculating dimensionality and how close your query is to what's being stored based on vectors and keywords, right? It is also well integrated with what what Snowflake languages are, SQL, Python, and also with the REST API integration or Snowflake. So what we need to do now is under the AI ML, as you see in the pages here. Oh well, but first to set up the Cortex things, we need to hit on the bottom left corner on the menu. Here, my account admin, which is the default. Set this to the Snowflake Intelligent Admin, right? That's an important step to enable the corporate search. then we can see, well, you will see the difference. Let me return to the account admin one and refresh. Okay, well, no problem. Account admin, Snowflake Intelligence admin, and in the AIML, let's go for search. Then we are going to hit the create on the top right, and we are going to select the database we create, the dash DBSI. And we are going to select the retail schema, and let's mm, 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 let's create this service as the support underscore cases uh, service. Uh, 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 and we're going to do next. Let's now select the support case schema. Let's now select the transcript product, where all this comes from the database SQL script we run before. So you have both resources to the repository again, mlh.link/snowflake data, and that's the easy way to get here. And this contains all needed. So now we add the column transcript. We select the product as the attribute column, and we select all the remaining. Oh no. Sorry, I'm missing a step in the attributes. It was title and product. Yeah, next. We select the remaining one in the just columns to include in the service. And we configure now uh, this to be Snowflake Art Embedded 1.5 will be okay. Mm. And the warehouse, we need to select Snowflake Learning because we are learning, of course. Don't you worry about the target lag and that thing. And then we create. And here we can start doing some searches. Um, we can now have a Cortex search service to make sure we have this correct. Let's do interact with this. So you already have this support case. If you come here, search again, and you see the support case, right? And in the support case, let's interact. Let me make sure you're coming along. Yes, thanks for the shout out. Yeah, no worries. Actually, I love to see all these advanced features and advanced topics because that's not common to see in other streams, and that's great that hackers have the opportunity to also see it from various perspectives. I mean, I think even Stephen talks about these AI topics in a very excellent way. So you, Stephen, Jocelyn, um, my poor streams, but they can see many other perspectives and actually embrace the knowledge, because at some point we have to repeat ourselves, right? We are talking about some things that are similar, but some things that are different. Um, Actually, for the next data week, I'm planning to talk more about agents specifically, but like how you generate agents, not in a software as a service, but with LangGraph, for example. But yeah, more of that coming up. I didn't see any project types assignment in this in MLH Global Hack Week. Um, oh, I'm not sure about this one. I'm being like so locked out, as I was mentioning before. I just gained some free time to do this at my upcoming session. I'm not sure if something changed, but I do know that we have challenges. I'm Do you refer to that, to the global highway challenges? Um, Also, if you do, you can go to ghw.mlh.io. I'm going to paste the link here, and you can have more information about those. Great. So I'm hoping you are coming along here, um, and we are ready to continue. Okay. Oh, what's service it's initializing. Please wait until service is active to use the playground. Okay, no worries. So we have time. Uh, I was waiting for that, trying to do some time here. But yeah, hey, Sushmita, you can go to Global Hack Week /challenges and scroll down to see project type challenges. Yeah, thank you so much, Wade. Um, yeah, I was talking about how we can gain different perspectives, right? And from hackers, I think like knowing this Snowflake opportunity, it's great because in this platform you can make use of really powerful AI features. Here, for example, let's see how many credits I spent. Not even a credit I spent, but probably when we start playing with this, we would spend some. But my point is, from scratch, like from building it from plain JavaScript, Python, or any other with some libraries, frameworks, to these using the already existing platforms. I think that's a great thing to have. Well, while this loads, let's start talking about next things coming, which is cortex analysis, right? What cortex analysis is? Well, one thing is finding the resources that are needed, um, but another completely different thing, it's analyzing it, right? So using the AI features we already have, like for example, the retrieve, augmented generation, things like that, we can find the specific chunks in data that we need for us, for example, to see and analyze and think about the information we digest it and we use it. It could be on a chat interface, it could be on an application, it could be directly to leaderboards, charts, things like that. But we are doing the thinking here. We are doing the analysis, the processing. We can make use of cortex analysis to automatically generate these for us, the visualization, the insights. It has the same advantage. That's just plain language, just English, Spanish. I don't know, a lot of these other things to create these powerful uh, data highlights. I would say for infrastructure that's required with complete Snowflake management, right? I think that's the point here. As I was mentioning, you don't need to code this from scratch, which it's a blessing. Uh, you can use these powerful, really powerful tools uh, just with the data platform that it's offered by Snowflake. I ask because big data. Oh, question for you. My understanding of Snowflake, it's a data warehouse type of service. Can it also be used for a real-time application database? I ask because big data, data analytics, etc. use cases are different from real-time application databases. Curious about your thoughts. Mm, that's a great question, Ray. And again, I'm not a Snowflake expert, but I know it's on the operational side. You have plenty options for do operational analytics, which are the closest to real time ones. Um, I will say Snowflake doesn't performs it best at that field. Snowflake, it's great again, as I was mentioning, as an analytical workload, right? So there are plenty integrations, and I can say this from the, for example, MongoDB side, because MongoDB it's a transactional database, so it can do analytics, but we are aware that we don't play that well on the big analytics side. So I can tell that companies acknowledge this, and in the places they don't play well, they find partners. So that's why MongoDB and Snowflake can play along very well, because they don't compete, they complement each other. So if you want to do real-time analytics, I will redirect you to MongoDB, because that's operational data. That's something that's happening in lifetime. That's something you can get insights more uh, in real time. Again, there are ETLs, and I'm seeing some integrations even with Kafka, with the MongoDB Kafka connector, to export your data from the operational database to the the operational transactional database to the analytical database, in this case, Snowflake, and then you can perform more um, real-time analytics. It's not completely real-time, of course, if you add these ETL, but it's better than, for example, performing batching or a more complex ETL, where you can just do analytics based on a specific timeline or specific point on your history of the other database. So that's the problem of having these two separated. But at the end, it's end up being intentional in terms of Snowflake. It's really great for doing these analytics over, let's say, cold data, but not so great on the warm data, on the operational one. No, I'm not an expert. But yeah, thank you so much for asking that great question, because I was very confused to with that at the beginning, actually. Like, for me as an outsider, it was like, okay, why are so many options? Why should I choose? I mean, there are at some point things that you can do the same with both. Uh, and even, for example, Databricks, right? There's another competitor. I think that's a more direct competitor for Snowflake. They kind of do similar things, but all has their own pros and cons, right? And well, here Snowflake, it's really doing great work in bringing these complex tools to being easy to use for developers, and well, not only for developers, for everyone. So that's a highlight I would like to say for Snowflake. But yeah, thank you so much. And well, these haven't ended up loading, but I think we can continue with our developing. In the meantime, we can go back here. I'm going to open another tab with Snowflake. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, this serving it's needs to be active. So in the indexing, it's great now. Let's give it some more time. Oh my. Okay. Again, I needed just to refresh the page. So we're here now. We can play. Let's see what we have. Uh, so if you're not familiar what we're doing here, let me show you something. Remember, we under their catalogs we import a database called dash dbsi, and we have a schema called retail. Retail, it's an industry for everything that's related with products, sales, and here we're including social media, support cases, marketing, blah blah blah. Here on the support cases, that's the one thing we created the Cortex search for. And if you remember, under the columns, we selected the the product that's the one we want to find, related or based on the ID and titles, right? So we are going to search something like show all tickets related to clothing products. How can that be possible? Well, let's take a look. If I had to do that manually, I will say, oh, okay, we have the customer, blah, blah, blah. Hi, I recently purchased the Thermo Jacket Pro. So the product is the Thermo Jacket Pro. The Thermo Jacket Pro, is that a clothing one? Okay, yeah. For the name, it makes sense for us, but how an AI can understand that? That's where vector search comes handy. It understands the product. It's thermal jacket that can be something pro. It has a dimensionality that says, okay, how likely this is clothing. Okay, this is definitely clothing for the jacket word. I understand. What does the pro can mean? Okay, this is this is not like a regular jacket. This has to be high quality, probably. Um, Ultra runner shoes, had a bottle. So, for example, shoes we can have that in clothing, but with a lighter vector for that. Not one that big for jacket, right? Because I'm really sure a jacket is clothing. Uh, I it depends on the criteria shoes can enter that catalog, but a water bottle or a hydro bottle, definitely no, right? Power yoga mat. Uh, it can be a yoga mat or a Lenovo computer. Again, the vectorizing, it's where this actually comes handy and makes sense, right? So let's run that and let's see what happens. Well, we have plenty because we have a limit, but let's see the scoring. The text, vector, and ranker, and they all have the same vector weights. If we reduce, so for example, no, not that much vector, but more weight on the text. So, for example, a tree, refresh. You see thermo jacket, thermo jacket, thermo jacket. I will say the text does not relate that to clothing. Let's see if there are some other products that actually refresh more that clothing one. Mm, runner shoes. Okay, let's give an example with another. Show all tickets related to shoes. Include activities you will need the shows for. Right. Let's look shoes. This has the shoe word, and for a reason, this also hey, have a question about the power yoga mat. Uh, let's see if we change the weights and we give the back to one back again. Uh, this still is the third option here. Yeah, and it is. Let's see why. Maybe if we read the full transcription, uh, power mat, blah blah blah. Hello, customer. Notice it's that normal. Mhm. That could be a factor. Uh, water cleaning. Sure. No, no idea. But hey, nobody said it was perfect. Of course, this is fuzzy, and that fuzziness it's part of the AI, right? So tell me, like, oh, sorry, are you are you able to do these capabilities that fast, just out of the box in an application that you build from scratch? Um, Probably you don't. Me neither. I mean, neither a pro veteran coder because this is really complex, and having the ability to use it here, it's just wonderful. Um, let's return. And now let's start with the cortex analysis. So I already started what it is, and let's go to the AI one and hit the analysis part. Right? I hope you like this cortex search. And for the analysis one, we are going to do something really similar. We are going to navigate to our the repo again, and under the marketing campaigns YAML, let's explore a little what's happening here, right? So we take each table of the marketing campaigns. Remember, we can have this table, marketing campaigns metrics, and we set the primary keys as the columns. We also give the dimensionality. We set the dimension to the business attributes and synonyms, including the example values of the SQL. Um, and we do that also for the facts, the time dimensions. If you're not fully sure of what this is, don't worry. If you watch it like with the UI, you will understand it better. But keep that in mind. We define the facts, we define the dimensions, and we define the time dimensions, right? Um, then we also need to set the relationships on how this it's related to other tables like the sales one, um, or the product one should be around here. That's the rest of the YAML file. And finally, we verify the queries. Yeah. And well, we can copy this or download the file. We close our previous search. And here we can create new. Oh, so before we create a new one, let's also change uh, or role. Oh no, Snowflake intelligence dash WH side. Okay, I think yeah, that's okay. Let's create this new. Create upload the download file under downloads. Okay, wasn't this downloaded? It's not downloading. Okay, we can do something. We can create a file here. Here we can say cd to downloads and the reach. What was the name? Marketing campaign YAML Vim marketing campaigns. Insert this, and that will be it. We can close this now. We can return to the cortex analysis. We can select the upload the YAML file. We have it now here. Yeah, this is being used. Um, Now the database, let's select the same one we're using with the retail one, and also let's select the semantic models. Um, mm, mm, yeah, that we can upload. And while this loads, okay, it's loading now. We can select all the docs generated. Mhm. Okay, okay. So in the playground, sales and marketing data. Explain the data set. Let's see. So now it's interpreting this, and it tells us this data set contains for comprehensive sales and marketing information of business. You can analyze product sales performance across different regions and time periods, right? So um, again, now we have the ability to use all of our database and ask questions about that. So great thing to have that mind in, and you can feed this with your own information. As you can see, I haven't yet spent any credits yet. Obviously, for me, this ends in 3 days, so you should make well use of this. Um, so, for example, for the sales, it tells the dimension, it's the product ID and region, and the time dimension, it's the date. It has two fact amounts, and for each of these logical tables generated, we also have the well, nothing more. Um, let's start using it. Let me give you a more detailed example here. Um, so based on our data, we can say, show me the trend of sales by product category between June 25 and August 25. So in that time span, I want to know this. Else, what we can need to do, create a query that looks for table to table build, uh, define the boundaries for the time and the date. Here we have our answer directly thanks to the LLM, right? Or Snowflake intelligence. And well, logical query will be something like this, and we save us building this. Amazing. Uh, so, any questions this far? Great. If you don't have any questions, let's start with our last part, which is the user-defined functions. What are these? Well, this is just custom SQL that you can use to implicate routines. So basically, you can also do Python, not only SQL, but Python, Scala, and Java. And let's go for some examples. We have mlh.link slash snowflake UDF. So Snowflake UDF, UUDTF examples, some requisites, things like that. Um, we are going to get our examples from here. But basically, what you need to do is come to projects again. I'm going to close this other one. We don't need it anymore. Under my workspace, we already have this set SQL one, but we can add a new one, and we are going to add this as my UDF or UDGF, right? That's just the name. So yeah, we did this previously. So we're going to just expand on what's happening here. Um, Under the repo, there is one file called specifically like that UDTF. So we're going to copy and paste it here. So let's start executing this UDF. Instead of executing this all, let's go step by step on the execution, and let's see how this works. First lines, it's just that the user define the database, uh, uh, define the schema, show the functions, and let's now create a simple UDF that rounds a float to the nearest whole number using the Python UDF. So we start creating these shell functions, create or replace a function. We set def round value. If value is known, return known. If it is return, we round the value, right? Really simple. And we define that using Python. So you probably are really familiar with this. Um, let's skip to the show function. Again, we now select everything from the sales table. We select some of these uh, columns and we sort them. And finally, we are going to do something more interesting. That's create a simple UDTF that will generate a new column that stores the average price of the product. So this is going to return that. Um, this also can select everything with SQL. So previously you used Python, so that's the difference here. And let's compare it to what time took for the Python one. This one takes 117 milliseconds, and the Python one was this. Let's remember, create or replace. It took just, well, more than that, 1.9 seconds. So this one will be 0.1 seconds, right? So that's the main difference between using Python and SQL for these exercises. And basically, that's the thing to highlight here. Um, let's run everything once again. And while this runs, let's verify the results are actually being generated. So for the database, we need to see this updated. This was created successfully. So we can go back to our database explorer, the data, the BSI, under retail again. And so, for example, we should have now under the tables a new product with average price one. It's the one we generate with SQL script, remember? And basically, in the preview, the only thing we can appreciate is that we now have the average price instead of just the price direct per product. So here we have 40 rows, and in the products, generally, we have the same 40 without the average, right? Um, why we can have this split? Because under the sales one, we need to relate them with the units sold and the amount of that, right? So we can generate the average based on that, and then we relate it with the product ID because it's the foreign key. And finally, this is again something we already used. The setup actually was that you the F SQL common, but something it worked diving more, right? Now, let's wrap up everything with connecting to Snowflake Intelligence. We're going to create this agent that it's going to use the tools we already use, the search for the structured data, unstructured data, sorry, the analysis for the structured data, um, and a custom definition tool, right? And this all be powered by the LLM. Um, 1 second here. We need to return to this part. Now we navigate to AI. Let's create this agent and create agent. Okay, here on the database, we need to select not the dash DB, but the Snowflake intelligence we also created with setup SQL command. Here, we're going to select the agent schema, and basically that will it. Let's going to call this sales AI. But it's a common practice that agents are referred to being a persona. So this is going to be our sales agent. So we create this agent in the display name, just change it for, I don't know, let's say Bubble Hagwig bot, or Alberto bot. Okay, something like that. Um, and let's update it. Okay, if it can be updated, there's no problem, but that will be fun to have it. Now we can interact with this agent. Mm, here. Uh, uh, but before we do that, oh, here's the edit button. Okay, yeah, yeah. Alberto bot description. Um, Chalk in a mixture of Spanish, English, and be very friendly. Let's see what we have about that. Um, and well, yeah. Now we save this, and let's say, hey yo, amigo, show me the trend of sales by product category between June and August. And let's do that. Sales trend by product category June, August. Questions to clarify which year that's sort. Okay, a lot of things to answer, right? Do you think that's correct, appropriate? I will say it isn't. Why did sales products need that much information from me? This is not an agent, right? Well, because it doesn't have the right tools to do it. So let's give actually the tools for this to do the right things. Uh, um, let's go under the tools part here on the top, and let's add the cortex analysis one. Um, Here we need to define the semantic model file, select the database that we previously used, which is dash DBSI information schema, no, retail, sorry. And on the stage, now we use the semantic model. We select marketing campaigns YAML. I'm not sure what I have two of them. That's interesting. And both are called the same. I'm going to select just the top one. And the tool details sales and marketing data tool. Um, User default. Am I missing something? Uh, Okay, query timeout will be 60 seconds. I know what I'm missing now. Um, uh, campaigns. Oh, I'm dyslexic. Okay, I see. Oh my bad. Uh, it's GNS. GNS is the one. Correct. Well, my bad. Do I call it? Oh yeah, I put the N for the G. Okay, my bad completely. Uh, well, that shouldn't be a problem. No problem with that. So again, dash db semantic model file. Um, enter the sales marketing data. Yeah, what I'm missing this some description. Okay, now I can add it. Okay, some description. Great. Now we can make use of the cortex analysis, right? So here under the save part, let's add that. And in the chat we have on the right, we are supposed to see that. Okay. Well, before we refresh, because probably that's a matter of refreshing. Yeah. And I need to hurry because that doesn't look like I'm going to have a lot of time left. Yeah, the Cortex search services. Let's add them again. Let's use the DSV retail one. Uh, the service super cases. We already created that, so that shouldn't be a problem. The column ID, it's the ID, title ID, it's the title. Really straightforward. This is the support cases tool. Description as the description, and then we can start using it. For the custom tools, we are going to do the same. We are going to call these function. We are going to select these the retail, and in the identifier, it's the round to whole float. Name it's going to be round float to whole. If you wonder where this comes from, remember the Python function we described previously. So um, that's where it came from. And the description should have a list of what's required to run these. Um, but I don't know. I don't feel like writing it right now. And the parameters, yeah, we can add it without a problem. Um, Probably better detail in explanation here. It's worth it, but I only have 10 minutes, so let's try to push it. Let's save the changes, and now if we come back to the agents again and go to sorry and do the AI part again and go to the Snowflake intelligence, we are needed to sign up, and after we log in here, we should observe Alberto bot. That's our current agent, right? And using Alberto bot that's already selected, we can ask interesting things like what is the average price of the products? Remember, we have a function for that. And if we expand this, we have let me analyze. Let's create a plan. That's the autonomicity. You receive an input, you plan about it, you take the tools, and you reply. So these do it's an agent. I don't have direct price data available for products. The data available includes things amount units, blah blah blah, but not catalog. Okay, if you're in an average selling price unit. Okay, let's try it then with the relationship between social media and mention sales. So similar here, plain sales generate SQL. Okay, it is the tool we coded or we verified previously. So that's good thing to have. Here I'm more confident about the result. Okay, and now we have that. The relationship between social media and sales shows very strong positive correlation. So we are doing this analysis. We pre-selected. That's great thing to have. And wow, I mean, if we ingest this with real data, if we sit and try to plan it for our product, how much it takes us? 2 hours, right? Imagine doing this for your next hackathon. You have like all the brains there uh, in a really short amount of time, in a really powerful way. So I finally want to say thank you for joining me during the session. I really enjoyed being here with you. Um, this session is again part of our efforts to share the knowledge with our partners. In this case, Snowflake, and I hope you learn as much as I do. About these technologies. I hope you keep asking very meaningful questions like we did. And if you want to learn more, you can ask us in the Discord chats. You can start discussions, join us for more hackathons. Um, I don't know. I don't know if you heard of this, but the melee hacking just acquired Dev. So probably there's a post in depth to explain and deep dive more on Snowflake, right? Um, so it was great to see you. I am going to finalize this session. If you have any questions, let me know here in the comments. I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be back for another session that is MCP servers with MongoDB, right? Um, I will see you around. Bye bye.